Good morning. Welcome to the office. I just wanted to take a couple of minutes and talk to you about the budget. A couple of days ago, Governor Whitmer presented her budget proposal. So, first off, this is the start of the process. We will be working through the budget over the next few months here in the legislature. So, what you see today will likely change as we get into conversations and debates about it. But there are a few really important things that I wanted to talk about. Number one, I really appreciate the candor and that this budget lays out very clearly what we need to do to increase our road funding. We haven't seen a change in the general fund in the past 20 years. So when we're talking about the real need to fix the roads and fix them the right way, we need $2.5 billion to get us to a place where we can appropriately maintain our roads. And one of the things that I am really encouraged by is that Leader Shirkey has signed on as well and said that this number is accurate. He said in a quote the other day that this is a number that's survived a couple of administrations now. So there's an acknowledgement that we need this funding. And I want to say right off the bat, let's leave no good idea off the table. I don't want to take the time to relitigate how we got here or the management of the road so far. We are where we are right now. And let's work together. We know where we need to go. We know how much we need. Let's figure out how to get there. So in that budget, there was a 45-cent increase on the gas and diesel tax. So that includes trucks as well. I know that's been a question that has come in. And it's really important that we get that money there. And just so you know, there's two constitutionally protected ways that we can raise funds that are earmarked towards infrastructure. And that is either via a gas and diesel tax or via registration fees. And talking with Chris Kolb, the budget director, the other day, I think that we all agree that a user-based model makes sense. If you use it more, you should pay more, and not just have it based on the value of your car. So that's where we're at right now, and one of the things that I think is really important, we're going to share some of these presentations, but there was some really good graphs and presentations shared to lay out what happens if we do nothing. And I want to make sure that we don't get to a place where we're just kicking the can down the road again. Let's fix this and let's fix it now. What else is in the budget? So one of the things that's important about this road funding model is that any of the new funding that will come in via this proposed tax would not use the old road funding model. So this is something that I know a lot of you have talked about a lot of concern in the past, that the old Act 51 road funding model funds roads in the state based on mile of road and not by traffic. So particularly for those of us in Southeast Michigan, we've seen our roads get beaten up really badly because of how dense we are, how heavy our traffic flow is. So the new road funding model would distribute funds from the most heavily traveled and economically significant roads, regardless of state or local ownership, which is great. So that's going to start with major freeways, principal arterials, minor arterials, local bridges, and work its way down from there. So I think we're going to see a huge benefit in how that plays out to make sure that the roads that need it most get it the most. So where that's going to shift is there are some pieces in the budget that make up for that increase, because we know that increase is going to hit people, particularly working folks, particularly hard. So I think it's important to note that there's an earned income tax credit increase for low-income working families from 6% to 12%. So that should help offset some of the cost that is at the pump. And I think this plan did a really good job of also laying out what are the other options. So I know we're going to kick around a lot of different ideas for how we get to this $2.5 billion number, and there's a presentation that we're going to share along with this video that shows what the other options are so that we can start to have some informed conversations as we move forward in our meetings. I'm also really, really pleased to see some funds go behind drinking water infrastructure. I have heard from a lot of people in our municipalities about how much of a need this is to address our underground water infrastructure issues and make sure that we can move forward on the lead and copper rule implementation in a smart way. So I am really pleased to see that there's more funding here for this, and this is a conversation that will be ongoing for sure. And finally, something that's really important and that I heard from you all throughout the campaign and moving forward is an increase in education funding. We are really so pleased to see that Governor Whitmer is committed to education, and we're going to see a $500 million increase in education funding distributed to the students who need it most, and making sure that some of that funds are distributed equitably. So those are just a few things that are highlighted in the budget that I wanted to talk about. Again, this is just the start of the process. So I want to make sure we're having really constructive conversations about this budget. I am your voice here in Lansing, so we will be soliciting feedback at our Meet Up with Mallory events. We'll be talking about the budget, and this is a process that will be going on for the next few months as we work to finalize the budget. So feel free to reach out. Our plan moving forward is every day we're going to be releasing some new materials for you to check out, to learn more about the budget, to learn more about where the funds will go and where the money will come from, so that you can dig into it on your own. So keep an eye out for that every day for the next week, and I'm really excited about this and looking forward to discussing it with you. So let's get to it.